Now, over the course of these videos, you watched me repair and rebuild and repair this bike trailer over a long course of time. I've had it longer than that. I've been fixing it longer than that. I seem to have come into possession of another bike trailer. I'm thinking we're going to strip it down and see how useful it might be. May or may not be better than the one I currently am using. It's a little bigger, give it that. It's set up as a kid carrier. Not about to use it for that. Debating on what to do with it. Some parts of it may be useful, some not. This hitch, for example, is, well, for lack of a better term, it's shit. Might be some useful bits on it. The axle, for example. I might be able to, I might be able to drill out these holes for a bigger pin. Make use of different wheels, but no, that's debatable. That's a maybe. I don't know that this would be any better, because I know one of these is bent. I think, yeah. This one's bent. You can see it's a little off angle there. But I'm not too keen on these particular rims, as tires don't sit quite right on them. See, it's they pull out a little bit. So I may or may not be able to use that. Maybe these tires would fit on these rims a little better. Not sure, I'd have to find out. You think so? Yeah? That might be a good idea, Mao. Yeah, maybe those tires will fit better on these rims. Maybe these rims are garbage. Maybe these axles and bearings would fit in these rims and make everything work a little better. I don't know. Yeah, you don't know either. But I'll see what I can do. The trailer itself, I don't know if I'll keep it or not. I don't know if I'll use it or not. And there's a lot of aluminum on it, which can go in for the next load of scrap metal. I took the previous load in, and it turns out 86 pounds of batteries is worth 25 bucks. But that seems to be the next job on the table right now. Is scrapping out a trailer and possibly upgrading another trailer. All right, let you know as soon as something happens. On to another note. I already put it away. The mirror that was on the relatively new bike, the wing mirror, was absolute shit. Thing's tiny. Can't see anything in it. Very poorly angled and not very maneuverable. So I took it off. I took the mirrors off of the trike. They're old Geo mirrors from many, many bikes ago. Modified several times, mounted up differently. I'm going to put those on the relatively new bike out there. She's pretty, but she still needs work. I'm going to put new mirrors on her. That basket on the front, as nice as it is small and not very useful for carrying capacity, so I'm going to do what I can to find materials to probably caging or, steel, and make a new, bigger basket for the front of it, since it's got that big rack on there to mount things to. I can actually get a pretty good sized basket on there. I just have to bend one to shape so it sits properly. So that's another thing on the table. I think step one will be that trailer. Potentially upgrading this trailer. Step two will be the mirrors. Step three, not strep. I don't have that. I want to do a gargle peroxide and get rid of it. But potentially upgrading that bike. I might take this larger helmet box and use that to replace, because it has the curve which will fit the front of the bike, use that to replace the small basket on the front of that bike. But anyway, it's a bunch of plans in the works, and like I said, I'll let you know when something happens. So we stripped down that one trailer, and I made a couple of discoveries. First of which is, because the zipper was left open on that trailer, the cats and the rest of the house had been using it as a place to pee. So the fabric is all shot. I gotta get rid of that quickly. Second thing I discovered, this entire frame is aluminum, which means it can be cut up for scrap. That's no problem there. It'll go in the next load. I also found the axle can be made to fit, which means I can replace the one bent axle on the trailer by putting this entire piece in here about there. About at that level, so it'll be wedged in there. I'll drill through holes and bolt it in place, 3 positions. That way, the axle will be moved forward about... What's that look like to you? Let's do it this way. This one comes off, make it easier to work with. We'll actually measure how far up this is going to go. I think it's a couple inches, 2, maybe 3 inches forward. Tape measure out, find out for sure. So center of the axle will move forward. Hey, look at that, 2 inches. It'll move forward 2 inches, which is fine. It'll be raised by about ½ an inch. That's not bad. That axle is longer across. It being welded on one end means I'm going to have to get the pipe cutter out and trim that end down, drill a new hole for the pin. So that's the next step in this. Once I get everything hammered in place, then then we'll figure it out. I can't slide the new one into this bracket because this bracket is also bent. Makes sense, that's where the bent wheel was. But apparently it's not completely straight. So I'll hammer that straight, put it all in place, mark everything, and start cutting. Okay, let you know when that's going on. You can sort of see what I'm doing here. Angle you a bit better. There. Get that in the center of the screen. So the problem is this has been bent. This side here in particular has been bent this way. So I got my nut rounders. And I bend it back out. Nice and loud. Bend it out to the point where one of these will slide in. Pretty good. Bottom of this too. Don't have to bend it much, just enough that that'll slide in place. Looks like that ain't quite enough. So I might have to take a hammer to that and pop it in further. Once it's in place, life will become a little bit easier. Granted, I'm going to have to take it out again, but okay. So this one's bent too. Opposite direction. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, I can get it. All right, now what we got to do is measure this distance, mark that distance on this side, cut it off. Once that's done, we got to drill a hole through it. Yeah, up in here. That'll allow us to attach the wheels. But yeah, I'll measure, mark that, and I'll go to the pipe cutter and cut it. As you no doubt know and can tell, pipe cutting, especially on thick weld stuff like this, is a rather boring process. I mean, you just sit here and twist the pipe and the cutter over and over again. Get loose to tighten it until it eventually cuts through. It's going to take hours, so I'm not going to make you sit through the whole thing. Longer than I thought. I mean, I thought it'd take a while, but I cut the pipe off. Cut it to length. There it is, cut to length. Now, this should, on this side, see, it just slides in right to that point. Right where that hole lines up, put the lock through it, put the pin through it. So it should go in that far. On this end, it stops. I took a look at it, I reamed out the hole, everything's good there. The problem is there's a lip that far down. inside the pipe there's a lip. Can't really see it. Considering. Trust me, it's there. So, got a thinner rod here. Tape some sandpaper to it, fold it around. It's just big enough to fit in there. And slide down. And I'm vigorously spinning and raising and lowering it until that lip is gone. That's probably going to take a while. So, through a combination of aggressively sanding and reaming the inside of this pipe, and lightly filing the edge on this pin so it's round, it works. Now, I gotta measure how far this hole is from the end. Put another one like it there. For that, I'm gonna use the vise and the drill, and I'll do it off camera, so I'll show you when it's done. After a bunch of drilling, and filing, and sanding, marking, and leveling, I think it fucking worked. Actually fits. Now I can actually start to assemble this thing. And drill a bunch more holes. And put in a bunch of bolts. See what she's gonna look like. But we can do a dry fit for right now. I'll set you up on the chair over there so you can see what's going on. You can watch alongside Mao here. She's probably quite interested in whatever this is. Hopefully she don't decide to knock the tripod over. Alright. So we got this piece and this piece. They fit. In here. Get over there, you cocksucker. We got all them in the same place and fit at the same time. Anything else? That'll fit there. That'll fit there. Right where they're supposed to be. Tight, level, even. Drill holes and bolt those in. Probably not going to drill all three. I'm going to drill the top, bottom, bolt those in place. Let's see what it looks like with the wheels on it and a dry fit. There. It's not going to be too bad. Wheels lever out a little bit, which is nice. It'd be good for stability. Does the same on both sides. That's what that bend in the middle of the axle's for. Not too bad. That'll be a lot more solid than the thinner axles on these, and like I said, that one's bent already, so I don't know if you can see the wave in it, but yeah. That one's kind of shot. Actually, that one's off a bit. Holy shit, they were both bent. Well, that explains a lot. The part of the frame being bent there too, that probably made it a lot worse. So, we're going to upgrade this trailer. make it a little better than it currently is. I got 4 to 6 more holes to drill. Luckily, from taking that other trailer apart, I got enough nuts, bolts, and washers to choke a donkey. So I'm not going to run out of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 6 of those. Hey, look at that. Perfect. Robertson head, too. Okay. So, it being... Oh, geez, what time is it? $10:30 at night. I'm going to stop doing this. Do the rest of that tomorrow, and for the rest of the evening, I'm going to watch Goblin Slayer. It's finally got the 2nd season now, 10 months after it's been out. So, we'll talk to you tomorrow and show you the rest of this.